Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who dat? Who Dat Nation, it is yours truly, TJ Jones, and yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Before I get started, I just want to know if everybody can hear me clearly. I wanted to make sure that I adjust the soundboard correctly. So somebody in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. All right, there we go. Shouts out to Joey, man. Appreciate that, man. Come on, get them lights up, man. Get that energy up, all right? I know a lot of people upset about what happened on yesterday with the New Orleans Saints falling to the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 20-13. But just know that even though you might be upset, just know that your day is not as bad as the Atlanta Falcons. And I can appreciate that, them falling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a score of 23-20. I can live with that because we understand what the New Orleans Saints are. This is a rebuild. Well, some of us do. And that's what I'm going to be talking about for a few minutes. This isn't going to be a long show. First off, let me go ahead and talk about some of the things that I saw in the game. All right. Number one, looking at the New Orleans Saints in 2025, this is just my opinion. This is my assessment. All right. This is the way I'm looking at it. I don't look at the New Orleans Saints like I did in 2017. I don't look at the New Orleans Saints like I did in 18 or 19 or 20 with high expectations and expecting the New Orleans Saints to go out there and get that dub. Why? Because we knew that at the time, the New Orleans Saints had an all-world quarterback that was capable of putting a team on his back. But for some apparent reason, some people haven't got the memo that number 9 is no longer with the team. I'll get into that in a second. So I look at this team completely different. I'm looking at the bright spots of this team because you're looking at these young players that eventually could possibly be cornerstone players for the New Orleans Saints. Those are the players that I'm looking at, folks. Those are the players that I'm rooting for. When I look at guys like Kool-Aid McKinstry battling against a promising future, really, maybe all-pro wide receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr., when I see some of this young secondary going up against Trey McBride, who, in my opinion, in the next 5 years, is going to be a debate between him and Brock Bowers as to who is the best tight end in football. I'm looking at these players that are going to arise to the occasion, that is going to step up in moments. Those are the players that I'm looking at. Because I realize that more than likely, this isn't going to be a magical season for the Saints. Now, it would be great if everything just starts to happen and they start clicking on all cylinders. But to me, that's just wishful thinking. I like what I saw out of guys like Kendre Miller. Coaching staff pretty much wrote off. Sky was out there running hard. Devin Neal, who missed most of preseason, but came in and did a really good job. I'm looking at guys like Isaiah Stallbird, who was shining on special teams after the Saints got rid of special teams ace and JT Gray. I'm looking at Brian Brzee blocking kicks to keep the Saints in the game. That is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Julian Blackmon, who almost got an interception off a tip drill of Cam Jordan. I don't even need to tell you all about Cam Jordan because the dude just basically just turned back the clock and just showed everybody that he's still special. And you have Carl Granderson, who a lot of Saints fans are relying on to be the successor to Cam Jordan. So I looked at all of those things, and I am very optimistic about the future of this football team. Now, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Let's talk a little bit about Spencer Rattler. Let's talk about Spencer Rattler, 27 of 46, 214 yards, no touchdowns, no interception, and he has been a topic of conversation among Saints fans on social media. You got some Saints fans that, I don't know, they must have expected for him to be Patrick Mahomes or something, and now they're just criticizing this guy and saying that he ain't it. You got some out there that are willing to give him a chance under this new coaching staff, but all in all, I'm going to say this. To all of those Saints fans out there that always got something to say, that know what to do and when to do it, why it didn't work, what in the world did you think a rebuild was? I'm going to say that again. What did you think a rebuild was? You have Saints fans that are going in as if the Saints are supposed to be the Bills or something, or the Ravens. This is not that type of team. You are talking about Spencer Rattler. Okay, everybody talking about Spencer Rattler. Okay, he ain't it. He make these mistakes. It could have went this way. It could have went sideways. But let me ask you a question. Now, if you are talking about they need to bench Spencer Rattler, my question is, who the hell do you think is going to come into the game to replace him? Who do you think is going to give you more production than Spencer Rattler, who is on this roster? Because here's the reality. This is what a lot of Saints fans aren't paying attention to. Allow me to school you all. When the New Orleans Saints decided that they were going to turn this quarterback competition to a three-man race that consists of young, inexperienced quarterbacks, it pretty much told you without telling you that the New Orleans Saints understand they are in the rebuild process. One more time for the people in the back. When the New Orleans Saints decided that three inexperienced quarterbacks were going to be in competition to be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, guess what? They pretty much told you that they are in the process of a rebuild, and they are embracing the rebuild. Go back to the press conference with Mickey Loomis. I know a lot of people want to put this man on mute, justifiably so in some cases, but the reality is this. He even alluded to when Dan Campbell first went to the Detroit Lions. Can I help you all? Can I help you all out with the record of the Detroit Lions? The Detroit Lions in Dan Campbell's first year, they won only 3 games. So why would Mickey Loomis bring up Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions in his first year as the head coach? Why would he bring that up? Because it seems like this is a man who understands that as of right now, it's a marathon and not a sprint. While you all are trying to wait for Spencer Rattler to turn into Patrick Mahomes, or maybe you've been watching these Disney movies that I tell you all about, where you just have this untouted, unproven guy who just comes off the bench and just lights it up for 400 yards. Give me a freaking break. And this is the problem with the Who Dat Nation, the hypocrisy of the Who Dat Nation. You've been crying and whining and boo-hooing about a rebuild, wanting new quarterbacks, wanting a new system, wanting a new culture, wanting a new coach. And now all of a sudden you get everything that you want, and you do not have the patience to be able to sit down and analyze it and understand where you at. You need to understand where you are as an organization, a staff, an organization, and crew. There is no Drew Brees walking through that door right now. For the people in the back, there is no Drew Brees walking through that door right now. You people are spoiled. You're spoiled by the greatness of Drew Brees. Half of you jumped on board back in 2006, and now your memory banks are all messed up and scrambled because you feel like everybody has to look like Drew Brees. Drew Brees was a special quarterback. Drew Brees is an outlier. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Go and take a look at the NFL. Look around the NFL. While we're around this thing criticizing Spencer Rattler, 27 to 46, 214 yards. He dinking and dunking. He dunking and dinking. Okay, how many quarterbacks? Think about this. How many quarterbacks in the National Football League right now could put the team on their back to lead their team to victory? We seen one last night in Josh Allen, if you watch Sunday Night Football, coming back 15 points down with 4 minutes left on the clock. Josh Allen is elite. Lamar Jackson has brought the Baltimore Ravens back from behind several times. He is elite. Patrick Mahomes has brought the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl countless times. He is elite. Joe Burrow, with no defense, got sacked 9 times in the divisional round versus the Tennessee Titans. Got sacked once again 9 times and still found a way to win. He is elite. Now, outside of those individuals right there that I just named, maybe you can throw in a Matthew Stafford. Maybe you can throw him in there. But how many quarterbacks around here are just trying to find their way? There are way more quarterbacks in the National Football League that are trying to find their way, more so than quarterbacks that can actually put a team on their back. The reason why you don't pay attention to that, because you always look at the exception to the rule. You always paying attention to Mahomes. You're always paying attention to Josh Allen. You're always paying attention to these elite quarterbacks. And then all of a sudden, my quarterback don't measure up. Oh, let's just throw him away. The reality is this. You're in a rebuild, Who Dat Nation. Deal with it. It's 2 things you can do right now. You can sit up here and be and moan about the situation of the New Orleans Saints football team, or you can understand where the heck they are, which is a team that is trying to figure out what the future holds. I appreciate the New Orleans Saints finally coming to reality, which we all wanted. We all wanted this team to come to reality. Please, Saints, come to reality and understand that Drew Brees ain't walking through that door. Now, all of a sudden, they accept the fact that Drew Brees ain't walking through that door, and you can't? Give me a freaking break. Spencer Rattler is the best quarterback on this football team, according to the coaching staff. Deal with it. If you think that another quarterback is going to come out of that quarterback room and give you more production than him, then fine. But I tell you what, if that's the case, somebody needs to be fired. I don't care if they just got there. Somebody needs to be fired. If they are holding back a quarterback that is better than Spencer Rattler on this roster, and they refuse to put him out there, and they put Spencer Rattler out there ahead of him, somebody needs to be fired. The cavalry ain't coming. Do y'all understand me? This is where you are. This is your reality. The Saints tried as hard as they possibly can to try to win that football game. Came down to the final possession. They showed you that they ain't going to lay down. And honestly, I come away from that game feeling they got a better chance of beating the 49ers next week than I thought. So I don't understand the angle here. Sitting up here talking about, oh, man, people up here trying to defend Rattler. You have no choice. What are we supposed to do? Oh, man, y'all defending Spencer Rattler. Okay, he sucks. He sucks. He sucks. Get him out of here. He a bum. He can't throw the football. He can't win a football game. Guess what? Doesn't matter what TJ Jones says about him. Doesn't matter what some keyboard warrior like to say about him. He's still going to be the starting quarterback as long as the New Orleans Saints feel like he puts the team in the best position to freaking win. Deal with it. Deal with it or turn your TV off. Deal with it or turn your TV off. Tune out. Welcome to reality, Who Dat Nation. You're in a rebuild. This is what teams that have been struggling to try to find the quarterback of the future have been dealing with for decades. You see Josh Allen right now, but Josh Allen wasn't always there. You see Bo Nix in Denver, but he wasn't always there. Tua struggled, but he's the closest to a franchise quarterback they've had since Dan Marino. This is a lot of teams' reality. And you have been spoiled by the greatness of Drew Brees. And some of you don't know how it feels to actually go through the motions and have a quarterback that's not going to give you the best chance to win every single week. It's going to take a supporting cast around that quarterback to make him better. Because most of you grew up watching a quarterback that takes something out of nothing and win football games for you. Put the team on his back no matter what the New Orleans Saints put out there. They're still going to be productive. They're still going to be efficient. But right now, the New Orleans Saints, they need a supporting cast around Spencer Rattler, and that's what a lot of teams have to deal with. And right now, when I look around this team, I don't see a lot of people that can actually go out there and make things happen. You have to scheme it out. You have to make something happen. And right now, that is the reason why the New Orleans Saints aren't going to be successful more right now until they actually build this team up and they build it around, rather it's Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler, whoever they want to, and bring some players in, some big body receivers that can get that 50-50 ball. A guy that can make somebody miss in space. Look at the 49ers. Brock Purdy, kind of a prime example. He's not elite, but you put Christian McCaffrey out there and you give him a screen, he making about 3 or 4 guys miss for a 60-yard touchdown. Before he was traded, you had Deebo Samuel out there, and now you got George Kittle. So you put a supporting cast around him that are capable of moving the chains and putting him in the best position to succeed. Right now, the Saints are trying to figure that thing out. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the freaking show or turn the show off. Plain and simple. That's my message to a lot of these Saints fans out here that have that microwavable mind, like all of a sudden, like we just going to pop this thing in the oven for 3 minutes, and the next thing you know, bing, playoff team. Doesn't work like that, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the rebuild. You got what you asked for, so stop crying about it. Sick of y'all crying about the same situation. I've had thousands of episodes of this show where individuals calling in, man, we need to just realize that Sean Payton and Drew Brees ain't coming back. We need to understand that we need to move on from the old layovers of Sean Payton and Drew Brees. We need the new culture. Now we don't even want to wait on a new culture when it's right in front of us. And now we want to try to tear down, a young, promising quarterback in a process that's only doing what the best that he can and given the opportunities that has been presented to him. He's trying to make the best of them. So what do you want to do? He's the quarterback. There is no other quarterback coming through here. What y'all think, man? What you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be like, man, I threw 4 touchdowns for Pittsburgh. I think I can throw 4 for the Saints. The delusion of some of these members of the Who Dat Nation. Y'all downright delusional. Like, I know some of y'all, like, man, my goodness. My goodness. I get being frustrated. I get being upset. I get not understanding, like, fully, how did the Saints get into this situation? I get all that. But when you ask for something and you get it and you still complaining about it, that's when that just bothers me, man. Dolphins, Titans, Panthers, Giants are worse than us, and nobody talks about that. Because they don't want to talk about it. Because this is their reality. Oh, man, y'all just wallowing in mediocrity. Y'all content with mediocrity. Who's content with mediocrity? Nobody's content with anything. But look, if you're stuck at the gas station, you ain't got no car, no money, and no way to get an Uber, what the hell are you going to do? You going to be sitting up there? Like, you ain't got no choice but to chill and try to figure out how you're going to get out the situation. Like, what's sitting up here talking about what they should have did? We all, like, what is everybody just, like, I really feel like individuals just talk just to be talking. I don't know if they try to psych themselves up to maybe think that things aren't going to happen the way that they thought. And then when it happens and their reality kicks in, then all of a sudden they mad. Like, come on. We all have been talking about this. You heard the local media talking about this. You heard people like myself talking about it. Everybody was telling you that this is going to be an uphill battle for the Saints. Did you think that they were just talking? Did you think it was just hyperbole? Did you think they were just trying to make you upset? The team is going through a rebuild. The general manager even alluded to it. But they ain't good enough. So all of a sudden, like, man, let me unlock these special Joe Montana powers and give Chris Olave the power of a Jerry Rice and Rashid Shaheed the power of a T.O. or a Randy Moss. And let's go out here. Like, come on, man. Some of y'all straight up delusional Saints fans. You're right, TJ. Can't speak my mind, but you're right. Man. Lee, I think Kittle got hurt yesterday. Yeah, he did. He had a hamstring injury. Left the game. Came back out in street clothes. So you got to keep a watchful eye on that. I just think 83 being our biggest pass catcher, not being our strongest pass catcher. The Saints don't have a number one receiver. I've been telling y'all this for a minute. Some people been going in on me when I was talking about Chris Olave, not a number one receiver. Man, what you talking about, man? You tripping, man. Look, not only do I just say these things because, most people just, they'll probably see me on social media and they just think that I'm out here trolling. There's nothing about me that resembles a troll. Like, if you know me personally, like, these are my feelings. This is how I'm wired. Right? I don't it's not my fault that a lot of what I say invites discourse, but I'm not trolling anybody. I've been saying this, and you can go check the tweet out because I retweeted it. I said this back in 2023. Everybody thought I was crazy when I said that Chris Olave is not a true number one. I said he's a top wide receiver, like he's really gifted, really talented. I said he's, sitting on the shelf, but he ain't at the top. He okay, you got your premier stuff like that sit at the top of the shelf. And then below that, you got your stuff that's still good, but not as premier. That's all I'm saying. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a slight on him. Like, he still can make plays. But what the New Orleans Saints need is a little bit more than that. I'll give an example. Let's take a look at Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks reminds me a lot of Chris Olave. Brandon Cooks thrived with the Patriots. He made plays with the Rams. He made plays with the Texans, but he wasn't never a number one receiver. That's the reason why they traded him around so much. The Saints don't have a true number one. They don't have that guy that just demands a double team. They don't have that guy that's going to win that 50-50 ball and just everybody knows inside of the stadium who getting the football and it don't even matter. They don't have that Mike Thomas. They don't have that Justin Jefferson. They don't have that Jamar Chase. They got some really talented wide receivers that are fundamentally sound. And, you give them some plays in space, they're going to catch the football. And they're going to go right down to the ground. They ain't going to fight for no extra yards. They ain't going to make nobody miss. Well, they'll make somebody miss. And they'll probably just outrun somebody. They're a track team. But we don't want to admit that. But, hey, it is what it is. It's right in front of your face. It's up to you to admit that. I ain't holding nothing back. I'm not holding anything back. You can deal with it or not. You can wait to try to prove me wrong, but he been in the league since 2022. What is that? What is that game that you just like, man, Chris Olave took over? Where is it? I mean, I've seen some acrobatic catches, but where's that game that like, man, they just couldn't stop Chris Olave today? Where is it? Like I said, you throw the ball at Chris, he going to make a circus catch. He'll make it. But you got a lot of talented guys out there, that's not elite number one receivers that can make catches like that. But we don't want to accept reality, man. Oh, man, that's my guy right there, man. You talking about my guy, man. Love Chris Olave. Good dude. Great player. Just not elite wide receiver. Facts, imagine having to deal with Bryce Young. Yeah, it could be worse. Could be worse, man. All that Michael Penix talk is quiet. I didn't hear a peep. Lee, from no Falcon fan. And you knew. Oh, boy. This is the reason why I don't respect a lot of these Atlanta Falcon fans. The ones I do respect, they already know that I respect them. There's a reason I don't respect them. Because you had a bunch of them when I was having these comments and talking about the Saints, jumping up in there, man, it's over for y'all. It's curtain for y'all. And you better trust and believe. If Younghoe Koo would have made that kick, they would have went into overtime and it would have repeated like that Thursday night game, they would have been in the chat. So I'm letting every Atlanta Falcon fan know right now, I don't care how many games you win after that. You showed yourself very early in the season because that's what they do. They grandstand and hot dog. And then all of a sudden, when things don't go their way, they quiet as church mice. That is the reason why a lot of them I do not respect. Talk that noise when things are not going your way. I'm talking noise to the Atlanta Falcon fans out there right now, knowing man, my team in a rebuild, and more than likely they're not going to have a good season. You know why? Because I stand on business regardless. Some of y'all ain't standing on business. You have no business. You're standing on Tommy. You know what that means? You ain't got no job. You ain't got no business because you ain't standing on it. Stand on business. That's all I got to say. Wide right. That's my response to y'all. Wide right. The worse your wide receiver corps is, the better your quarterback has to be. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just a fact. I'm gonna just read comments for the next 5 to 10 minutes, man, because I really gotta move on. Gotta go pick the Pac-Man up from school, man. Takes me a little minute to get there. I used to get upset and frustrated after the Saints lost, but I got better years later. Look, I'm telling you, Jerry, like when I woke up this morning, normally when the Saints lose, I have like a bad taste in my mouth. My wife, like, you okay? You know what I'm saying? Like she'll probably like, do me a solid, like, wear a Saints shirt. Like my wife, y'all never seen her on camera. Like she's extremely quiet, not really into football like that, but she knows it's important to me. So you'll see her like, she'll come home from work, then she'll come downstairs with an Alvin Kamara shirt on that I bought her, or a Saints shirt, or my little, State of Saints podcast shirt, like just showing support. But I said, baby, it ain't even necessary. It ain't necessary this year because I understand what a team is. And I know some people like just think that I'm just up here just trying to go at them, but I'm just telling you, the easier it is for you to understand what the Saints are right now, the better is your psyche. You know what I'm saying? It's your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's your psyche, as I like to call it. The better your psyche. You ain't got to worry about it. Like you already know. Like that don't make you less of a Saints fan for you to understand reality. It's going to be a tough uphill battle. That's why you got to take the good with the good, the bad with the bad. Now, let me say this. And I'm going to start reading again. 16 penalties, unacceptable. That is unacceptable. I don't care what it is. Undisciplined, football, unacceptable. Kellen Moore holding 3 timeouts in his back pocket because he didn't trust in Spencer Rattler, unacceptable. The Saints have got to basically be perfect in order for them to win football games. They got to generate turnovers. They got to make sure that they give maybe Spencer Rattler an offense shorter fields. They got to do a lot of things almost relatively perfect in order for them to win football games. So being an undisciplined football team is not going to get you where you need to be. Plain and simple. Yeah, we can talk about that because that is inexcusable. You're not having the dogs, the dogs to hunt, or not too many of them to that hunt. I mean, that's understandable. But sitting up here shooting yourself in the foot is very Dennis Allen-ish. That is what people are going to start turning on you on, based on that type of stuff. That's when they're going to turn on you. Like, man, okay, all right, I understand the team in a rebuild, but y'all undisciplined. Y'all, it's a flag fest out there. Can't dispute that. Can't dispute that, Mr. Moore. Can't. Dalton and Addison, yes, sinker time. Yeah, I seen him out there on a couple plays, though. My girlfriend left me alone. Just let me be right now. Yeah, my wife, like, yeah, she like, did they win? I'm like, nah, I ain't win. And she came back from the store. She was like, did they win? I'm like, nah. TJ, Tom Brady told the Falcon fans not to talk about the Saints. He got 28 to 3 ways to tell them why. Shout out to your wife and family, TJ. Man, what's going on? Shouts out to my frat brother right there, my boy Jamie G. Y'all make sure y'all check out No Slack in the Swag podcast. He covers swag football. Man, big time swag fan right there. Not just Jackson State where we graduated, but he knows about all the HBCUs, man, that's coming out of the swag, man. And, if you want to get your up-to-date info on that, make sure y'all follow my guy, man. Guys, don't forget we drafted a sinker. Yeah. I mean, but look, I ain't nothing wrong with the safeties on this team. Nothing wrong with Julian Blackman or Justin Reed. Yeah, they missed some tackles yesterday, but did y'all watch the other football games? Did y'all watch how sloppy the tackling was? And I told y'all this. Like, I don't just be talking, folks. I'm telling y'all, the way that these teams are practicing now, the way that the collective bargaining agreement has things in place, there are certain things that are going to look sloppy. Especially, you also have to take into account no preseason games. No preseason game for most of these guys. So this is like their first real action outside of like really going at each other in practice. And you're not going to really just go full throttle on a guy that's going to be meaningful to your team, whether you're on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. So a lot of this stuff, is sloppy because they haven't tackled nobody in about 8-9 months. Seriously. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Julian Blackman. There's nothing wrong with Justin Reed. I think that the Saints upgraded their safety position, if you ask me. We be quiet when things don't go our way, says some church mice. Thank you very much for the $2. Yeah, be quiet up in that thing. Yeah, he out. Let's see. It says, I drove yesterday after they lost. We couldn't won, but bonehead mistakes cost us the game. I'd rather them to whoop our butt or get their butts whooped. Don't tease me with the coulda wouldas. But that's the thing, though, Sean. Nobody expect this team to do anything. I said this, and, I did my Saints Minute, my daily New Orleans Saints video today, and I just said it. Nobody expected the Saints to do anything. Nobody expected for them to do a thing. And all of a sudden, they go out there, they show moxie and grit. That's what you want. That's signs of a team that is trying to find out who they are and trying to get better every single game. And that's all we can ask for right now. That's all we can ask for, especially for a team that you know for a fact, more than likely, you ain't going nowhere right now. You trying to drop the breadcrumbs and that leads you to a trail of prosperity right now. So us sitting up here dissecting the play of Spencer Rattler and talking about he ain't it when you have a rookie quarterback behind him, and God bless the brother, he ain't on the team right now, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring him back this week. You got Jake Hayner, who completed about 49% of his passes in a game. Like, give me a freaking break. Like, why are we still sitting dissecting like we about to go to the big board and dissect Justin Herbert or something? Like, this team is going through a rebuild. I just wish that people would just understand that. But we'll get into this a little bit more a little bit later. I'll try to go live and answer some more questions a little bit later. But I do have to go. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. For those that are new, probably just popped up on your screen or something. My name is TJ Jones, lifelong Saints fan, born and raised in New Orleans, and been doing this show since 2018. So if you like Saints talk, real Saints talk, not delusional Saints talk, not just trying to keep you around so I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know type Saints talk, get in where you fit in. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I really would appreciate that. All right? Really would appreciate that. And you can also follow me on X at TJAY Jones 8. That's TJAY Jones 8. Till next time, all I got to say is calm down and who that.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?